Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 5, episode 6, the finale of I See Bad Movies. I'm one of your hosts, Dave Keane. I am joined by the, let's just face it, wonderful, superb, stunning Emma Spicer.
Thank you. I've obviously made good tea tonight.
Yeah, it was good tea, actually. Yeah, it was very tasty. And it was the perfect temperature. I could just drink it straight away.
Good.
It was really, really good. Emma, are you looking forward to tonight's movie?
I am actually, because neither of us have seen this one, have we?
I know.
So
And-
we don't quite know what to expect.
And we've gone from, a scrotum, so a round killer body part,
Yeah,
to a one-eyed monster.
yeah.
And now we've got, in this movie, one eye monster.
Yes.
So, and it's clearly a ball-shaped
Yes.
thing as well. Look, it's tenuous, but I was getting there with something.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some sort of link there somewhere.
Yeah, something there. So yeah, Emma, would you like to tell everybody the name of the movie we are watching tonight?
I would. Killer Eye. Is that right?
Yeah, that is the name. Yeah,
I'm not sure I know the name
it's
of the movie.
the Killer Eye,
The
but we're not
Killer
going
Eye.
to split hairs.
So we've moved up the body, so we've got away from genitals.
We have, I know.
Just for a break.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so it's a killer eye.
It is, although we just have to. Well, we'll see.
I
What?
was going to say I'm not sure how an eye can kill anyone, but then we've had a scrotum and a penis killing people. So, although the penis did strangle people, which was quite
Yes,
good.
and it also did sort of split people in half.
Yeah,
I don't know
weirdly.
what an eye is going to do. Just stare you to death over a very long period. Because let's face it, it's an eye. It doesn't. I don't think it's
It
got
doesn't
an
even
eyelid.
have eyelids, so it can stare you out.
It could
can't
stare you out. There's nothing you can do. So, would you like to hear the synopsis?
I would love to.
Okay. So, am I going to read the short synopsis?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, not the long one. All right. So, a mad scientist's experiment goes awry, turning a dead homeless man's eyeball into a giant killing machine.
It's already good.
That I know, but wait, there's more. There's more. Come here. There's more. Come here. A giant killing machine that has an insatiable appetite for young women.
Okay.
I know. Yeah. It's
So it's very specific, this killer eye. It's going after young women. It's not
yeah.
not just a murder spree, just get anyone in its path. It's
Yeah,
Young
yeah,
women.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I love as well the what it looks like, all the suggested movies that if you watch this you might like as well. I mean, look at this one. Gary Busey is the gingerbread man. Oh, sorry, the ginger dead man.
oh, okay.
That looks good.
Nice.
Anyway, that's it. Next season, killer treats,
Treats.
killer sweets.
Oh, we've already done the
We've
stuff.
already done the
in-
stuff.
in
That's
our-
the winner.
Yeah.
That's the winner. Emma, shall we check to see if we're going to cover the good or the bad
Yes.
first of all? Right. Okay. Let's hope that we get a good toss. You didn't see that, Emma, but that was a perfect coin toss.
Was it?
It went 1.5 feet high, regulation height. It landed straight back down in my hand,
Yeah.
straight on to the palm in one smooth motion.
Made a good sound.
I've been at home practicing, so you know. All right, what do you reckon? Good or bad?
Good.
Bang on, good. You got it. You got it. So yeah, we're going to be looking at the good bits of the killer eye, and it's my turn
It's
to
your turn
pick.
to pick.
I say that like I remembered, but Emma is well prepared and got the cards pointing at me already. Okay, here we go. Let's go straight in the middle first of all. Actress.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Not coming out. Stunts.
Oh, I hope there's some stunts.
Hope.
We very rarely get
Oh,
stunts.
very rare, but I'm hoping there is. Accent again.
Oh, that one keeps. Maybe we should get rid of that card.
I think maybe
we never get any accents.
I know, but that's the thing. There are so many bad movies that have got terrible accents in it. Music, hopefully, and then one more, isn't it?
Five,
Let's
we have,
go
don't
with
we?
the end. Scene.
Scene, okay.
Okay, so we've got scene, music, accent, stunts, and actress, and of course, any wild cards
Yes.
that might come in that we think are of absolute note that we need to cover.
Yes.
All right, Emma, are you ready to watch this Killer Eye film.
I would love to.
Oh, no. That's it. Podcast over.
Okay, bye.
See you in a bit. Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome back. Feels like a while, doesn't it?
It's like about 20 days.
Feels like 20 days since we last watched Killer Eye and recorded that intro.
Confess?
I think we should confess. Well, people know you were unwell.
You've let people know.
And let people know. On the 7th of March, we watched this film and recorded the intro that you have just listened to. And by the magic of editing, it's now 20 full days later.
Yes.
Because poor Emma, oh my goodness, you've had a time of it, haven't you?
We have had a time, yeah. There's been lots of illness in the house, but I was knocked out with a chest infection for about 2 weeks.
Yep, you were.
With a virus on top, just for good measure.
Just for good measure, yeah, you know.
So, but I think before that, did we not record because one of the kids might have been unwell? And I was like, it's not great, we're not getting much sleep.
That's exactly right.
So, yeah, it's...
Yeah, the night we had to record was cancelled because you said, no.
Oh, I
too
think,
unwell.
Was it when Lois had her chest infection and she was like coughing all night? And so we weren't getting any sleep, so it was just...
But by a strange occurrence of events anyway, even if Lois wasn't unwell, that same night that I was due to come round, my daughter Catherine had suspected appendicitis, which turned out not to be appendicitis.
Luckily, yeah.
So we were screwed either way.
Yeah, that wasn't happening.
It was 20 whole days different. I've had to rewatch the film because I could not remember a thing about it.
I couldn't bring myself to, so hopefully...
And honestly, I wish I hadn't.
Yeah.
It did give me a bit of time though to sit and write a couple more notes about... Funnily enough, I actually got some good scenes. I feel like I was scraping the bottom of the barrel
I was going to say.
And I think there might be more good scenes because of just the ridiculousness of it and the way it made me laugh, not because they were good. That makes sense?
Yeah.
All right, so The Killer Eye, okay. It's quite a short film.
Luckily.
It's only about an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And there are, I would say, a fair portion of the film is taken up with some drawn-out erotic scenes as well. So it's probably, if you discount those, it's about an hour-long film. Yeah. Maybe less Probably less. But the film, the film literally gets straight into it. We meet our doctor, who is running the experiment to look into the 8th dimension. Yeah. Straight away, straight into it. Dr. Grady, his name is. Yeah. Okay. There's a young homeless man that is in his laboratory.
I guess so. It doesn't really look like a laboratory,
does
it? It's like a loft apartment kind of thing.
Yeah, it does. Or it's either a loft apartment or a basement of a tenement building, because this all takes place. Yeah. This all takes place in one building.
Yes, it does. Yeah. So they live there and they work there, and it's all a bit weird, isn't it?
Did we get location? No, we didn't. Good. No. Our young homeless man is kind of spoken to the doctor to say, look, he's going to put some drops in your eye. I'm going to put some drops in your eyes. Yeah. Then when you start to get a tingling sensation, I'm going to ask you to look into this machine, and you could be the first person to see into the 8th dimension. Why? Don't know.
There's no explanation to what these drops are and how they work either, is there?
There's only one thing mentioned later in the film, which I've written down as like a wild card line. But yeah, there's no other. There's no explanation as to what it is, how it works. No. I don't mind that, because they don't try to make it something other than just mumbo jumbo. Yeah. Is that the phrase to use now? Mumbo jumbo?
I don't know, but it isn't. None of this movie actually makes any sense, but
no, it doesn't.
I'm just looking through some of my notes and just remembered some quite amusing bits. But it's it wasn't completely clear what these experiments were. He's trying to see into the 8th dimension, whatever that is, and
why
he's putting
as
dye into
well.
people's eyes to do it. Yeah, why is he doing that?
Why? There's no mention of any benefit to the scientific world.
And
That
is
they're
this
looking
just a
into
little
another
hobby
dimension.
that he's doing, or is he employed by somebody to do this? Or
Well,
what's the
funny you
deal?
should say that, because he's just put the eye drops into the homeless guy.
Yeah.
And the homeless guy, I say homeless guy, he looks like he's 14 years old. He says, "Oh, I don't have a tingling in my eyes, but I've got a bit of a tingling in my thighs," or something like that. And the doctor's like, "What?" And he goes, "This lady here," and he turns around, and it's the Dr. Grady's wife, Rita Grady, which is the name of. Rita Grady doesn't sound like the name.
No,
For
doesn't sound very glamorous, does
doesn't
it?
sound glamorous. If your name is Rita Grady, apologies, but Rita Grady just doesn't sound it. I don't know. So turns around, and Rita Grady is a young, attractive blonde woman.
Yeah.
And the doctor goes and talks to her. She is, how would I put this? A nymphomaniac, would you say?
I think so, yeah.
Her major drive
Well,
is sex
Yeah, I guess
in
so.
this film.
They make it quite clear that he doesn't pay her much attention, don't they?
Yep.
So she's a bit starved of affection, I think.
Yes.
And I don't know whether I might be forgetting this, but do they actually explain who the two guys are that are hanging around in the apartment?
No.
Yeah.
So, these two guys we'll definitely talk about in a minute. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. So, she's talking to the doctor, basically complaining that she's been lacking affection from him. It turns out, as well, that she's the one funding all of his research.
Oh, okay.
It's inheritance money that she's using to fund all of this. Okay.
So he is just a guy that's decided I need to look into the 8th dimension.
Yes.
Just woke up one morning and thought, no, I'm not going to be an accountant anymore. I need to look into the 8th dimension. Yeah.
I mean, if I was an accountant, I'd probably do that too.
You might do, but I mean, my point is, where did this idea come from
Exactly.
that he needs to look into the 8th dimension?
Yeah. And again, we have absolutely no idea for the reason for it.
No.
There doesn't seem to be any benefit.
explanation, no.
Oh, great! I can
And
see
like you
into the
say,
eighth
it's straight
dimension.
into it, isn't it? Because the first scene is just him in his lab, whatever it is.
Maybe they've got really good soap operas, like 8 Dimension EastEnders,
I don't know.
Coronation Street. Thank you very much. Come on, that was good.
No.
Come on, no.
No.
Oh, okay, fine. Now, whilst they are having their little discussion, we homeless guy feels the tingling in his eyes, and he goes up and he looks in this machine, and whoosh, zap, whatever happens. Okay.
Yeah.
The next thing we see, we homeless guy is on the ground, and his eye is growing. We see it grow in shadow, and clearly someone's just blowing up a balloon beside his head.
Yes, it looks like someone's blowing a giant bubble, but it's the eye growing and coming out of his.
Yeah.
But we just see a silhouette of it, which is quite funny because it looks ridiculous.
Now,
And there's no explanation really as to why the eye grows so big, is there?
no, not at all. It's 8 Dimension magic. Who knows?
Because it can shrink back down, can't it? We've learnt later on.
Yes, later on we learn it can shrink back down.
Okay, this is...
Well done, you're remembering.
Yes, I am actually. I'm looking at my notes, I'm remembering.
That's amazing.
This is my issue with these movies that we've watched this season, is we've had the same thing with the scrotum.
Yep.
I don't think we had it with the penis, did we? But we definitely had it with the scrotum where it was humongous or it was normal size.
Oh, yeah.
And it could change. It was just like a big sheet of skin
fluctuates.
sometimes, and then it was like how you'd imagine it to be,
Yeah.
like life size. So, what's that all about?
Yeah, I know, that's a good point. But then as well, I do imagine that the one-eyed monster did also change shape and size as well when it was in its refractory period and when it wasn't.
Yeah, but that was that's different.
But that's a different size change, yeah. Yeah, I know, that's a very good point. But this eye, when it's out and about, it's massive.
It's huge. It's like...
And it's always the same
taller
size.
than a man, and like I don't even know what to compare it to. It's pretty big, isn't it?
Beach ball. Would you say a beach ball? Maybe even
I'd
bigger.
say bigger. bigger than a beach ball, and it's also got the optic nerve.
Yeah.
So that's important to say because the nerve's still attached to it, so it kind of walks around on the nerve, doesn't it? It's not just rolling along the floor. It's not like
the
an
nerve
eyeball.
of it.
It's not just like an eyeball rolling on the floor. It
Yeah.
is attached to an optic nerve, which is very that can move around quite a lot.
Yes.
And yeah, but the scale, is there like nerves coming off of the main nerve? Because the scale tends to change, I think.
Yes.
'Cause when
so
the
there's
optic
the,
nerve
there's
is
the whole
flapping about,
main nerve, but then there's
little bits coming
little
off of it.
tentacly
Yeah.
nerves that come off of it. And I don't know if the optic nerve is, it's called the optic nerve. It's not called the optic nerve bundle, is it? There's not like
Yeah.
loads of little nerves around. Maybe there are. I don't know. I don't know. But then, yeah, I know. I just don't get it. I just don't get how it happens.
It's just odd, and the scale just seems to change according
Yes.
to whatever it's doing.
It really does. So Dr. Grady and Rita finish their conversation, and she leaves very unsatisfied because he's definitely not going to stop his experiment and go and have sex with her, basically.
No.
You know, as
Bastard.
any good scientist should, be, no, I can't even finish that sentence.
No.
Just go and have sex with your wife, mate. Get it over with, all right? Just get it over
You've
with.
got an attractive wife there wanting to have sex with you, and you're wanting to experiment with eyeballs and 8 dimensions. I mean,
I do get the feeling, though, he's only married her for her money, for
okay.
her experiment, and he's too laser focused. That's the
fair
the
enough.
only thing I can think of. So yeah, we have that. Now he turns around and sees that the homeless guy isn't there anymore, and then he finds his dead body.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of that scene, and that's our whole introduction. But he does see that the eye is missing.
Yes, I was going to say the eye's missing, and then but he doesn't know what's happened yet, does he? To the eye, he just
Correct.
can see the eye's missing. Is this when the other guy comes in?
Not
Or is that later on?
yet.
Oh, that's later on,
That is slightly later because
Yeah.
now we cut to an apartment with 2 guys standing around in their boxer shorts, muscly.
This was odd.
This is so odd. They're just in their own apartment in this building. They are.
Which so they live there together because it's like one double bed.
I would say they're like Bert and Ernie, if Bert and Ernie were.
Real.
No, I said is they're like Bert and Ernie if Bert and Ernie were male prostitutes, male sex workers.
How do you know they weren't?
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, they are. They just seem their main role in life is just to sit there in their boxer shorts, high on any old drugs they can. I mean, they literally pull out a plate that's just overflowing with pills, and they're just picking at random, eating pills, swallowing pills.
Yeah, there's no
whatever.
explanation as to who these men are. We're just in their apartment. It's a weird apartment as well because there is a bed there, which looks like it's in the main living area.
Yeah, it's like a studio apartment almost.
Yeah, so they've just got one double bed and
Yeah.
they're 2 straight guys
Yeah.
that are just friends. So
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
if you
Better than
lived-
Ernie do it.
if you live with your friend, you'd have separate bedrooms, separate beds. And they're in their pants, like you say. And then Rita comes in, doesn't she, to their apartment?
Rita basically comes in and is like, guys, you're
need
going
to
to do
have
me a
sex."
favour and you're going to have sex with me.
Yeah,
And
both of them.
yeah, both of them. But it's very odd. It's a very, very strange scene. We see one of them is sitting watching, fair enough. Maybe that's his thing.
I remember this
Do you
scene.
remember
So literally, doesn't he just like kiss her boobs?
Well, he doesn't
Or
even
does he
kiss her
squeeze
boobs. He
Kiss her
kisses the bit in between the boobs
Right.
for literally about a minute, but it's cut, so it looks like he's doing it for a lot longer than a minute.
Yeah.
But in film time, it's about a minute, and then she turns over, and then he starts kind of kissing her back.
Yeah.
For about another minute in movie
Yeah.
time, but it looks like it's a lot longer.
Yeah, we don't see any actual sex, do we? It's
No.
not like or any like
No.
actual sex scene really. He just is kissing her.
And then, go on. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that throughout this movie, when the men are getting turned on, any of the men, they all rub their stomachs.
Yes.
They do this weird thing where they they sort of put in the face to say, "Oh yeah, this is hot," and then they rub their stomachs like they're hungry. It's weird. I've literally never seen a guy rub his stomach.
Do you know? I was watching it and I was thinking, has the director got a wee bit of a kink here? Is this a thing? And the director said, "I need you to do this," because
Why though?
those men, they're not the only men to take their tops off and rub
No.
their stomachs. There's another fella in a minute that does
Yeah.
it, but it's
bizarre.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Very bizarre. But then, literally, like, he just goes, "Oh, I'm knackered, I'm going to go for a sleep."
Yeah, it's really weird, isn't
And
it?
she's
He
like,
literally kisses her a bit.
"What?"
And then he's done.
And then his mate that's sitting watching does the same. They go and lie down. And all three of them just lie down next to each other.
Yeah.
She's in the middle in bed, and that's it.
Yep.
Until the eye turns up.
Yeah, the eye turns up. Does she wake up first? Oh no, the eye...
Well, the eye's been watching all this time. We get a lot of this scene is seen through eye vision, which
makes sense, because you do
makes sense
see with your eyes.
but it's through the killer eye vision.
Yeah, we can see as if we're the killer eye.
Yeah. Now, which is all fine and dandy, but the killer eye is clearly a horny wee bastard because he's just the eye is just. I'm saying it's the eye from a young man that's got an 8-dimensional monster in it.
Yeah, it's a male eye, so.
Now, this eye's been watching, and dare I say, salivating for Rita, and his tentacles get rather busy and go up under the bed covers.
Yeah, they go up under the covers, and she's kind of like, oh.
Ooh.
But then this eye has a thing for nipples, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's just kind of flapping about on her nipples at one point.
And not the eye is flapping about on the nipples, but the optical nerve is flapping about, and that's it's so hilarious.
So funny because it's just kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like it's all, like it can't find the nipple, so it's like kind of flapping about on her boob, and then hits the nipple every now and then.
You're an eye. You're looking right at it. You can see. Maybe because it's only one eye, it doesn't have depth perception.
Yeah.
So
Maybe it doesn't have optical. I was going to say hand-eye coordination, but optical nerve-eye coordination.
Nerve-eye cord.
Control the
yeah
optical nerve very well. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe it's not.
Clearly not.
Maybe maybe nerves aren't that prehensile. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they've just got to mind their own, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
But it's just funny because she's like laying there like, oh, this is so good.
Oh,
but
she's
this
loving
thing's
it.
just like flapping about on her chest. It's like it's not sexy at all.
It's so not. But it does look very phallic. We'll give it that. It's very phallic.
It does.
So one of the fellas wakes up and sees it and freaks out. And
as you would.
Of course, it's a bloody 6.5 foot eye floating in the middle of the air.
Yeah.
Just
trying to get it on with your
giving your bird a better time than you did, you know? You're going to be weirded out.
At least it actually went for her nipples.
Yeah. Yeah, this... Oh, Jesus
just
Christ.
kissing her chest.
This thing from the 8th dimension knows women better than I do. No, I mean, I'm talking from the... You know what I mean. Anyway, so one of them freaks out. The other fella wakes up and it zaps one of them in the head.
Oh, yes.
And he goes a bit like, ugh. And then the eye disappears.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we move on from them. And now we meet a new couple. Morton and Jane, they're called. Yeah. Okay. So it's a new couple. They're clearly getting ready for a night out. And... Jane is like, Morton's like, oh, I'm really looking forward to this night out. And Jane is like, yeah, it's a month late. And it turns out that Morton is Dr. Grady's sort of assistant and overworked by Grady as well. So Jane is complaining about how much Morton has to do with Grady's work and how she never gets time to see him, etc., etc. There's a theme of unsatisfied women in this film, okay? Whether that's, some sort of commentary on the real world, I don't care. I don't care enough.
So you shouldn't.
And so you shouldn't. But we've got this argument going on, and then all of a sudden Grady busts into the room. Well, not an argument, this discussion going on. And Grady busts into the room and he's like, Morton, I need you right now. And Grady and Morton has to go and help Grady, and the wife is like, "Oh, great, there goes my night." Brilliant.
Yeah, so she's not going to get a night out, so then she decides to have a shower, doesn't she?
Well,
not
that's not quite, but that does happen. I know I'm being. It sounds like I'm being really anal, but it's just the film is far fresher in my mind.
Yeah.
But so Morton goes up to help.
Yeah.
And Grady's like, and he's like, "What's this dead body doing here?" And Grady's like, "Oh, it's just a cadaver that I got."
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he? He does say that. Yeah.
It's a cadaver I got to test from
to
the
experiment
hospital.
on. Yeah.
And he's like, well, "Why is it dressed then?" He's like, "Oh, I put these clothes, these like because they're torn jeans and torn clothes.
Yeah.
Because it's a homeless person, of course they're all torn." And he's like, "I put these on it so that Rita didn't have the embarrassment of seeing a young naked man."
Rita would have loved it.
Yeah, Rita would have been loving it. She'd been thinking, and exactly when does rigor mortis kick in? Thank you very much. Yeah, but she's that, like, insistent. And also...
She's sex-starved, isn't she?
She is sex-starved, bless her. Bless her. Oh, dear. Now, Morton discovers that, obviously, this dead body has had... is not a cadaver.
Yeah.
It's died. This person has died in the lab. But Grady's very manipulative. Mm-hmm. He basically says, "Oh, and you're part of it all. Now you've helped me, etc."
Grady's just hell bent on his experiments. He doesn't care who gets hurt on the way, does he?
No, he cares very little for anyone. Very little for anyone. So they have the great idea of putting the body in a box and putting it up in the attic of the building. Okay. Now we cut to Jane, Morton's wife. She's on the treadmill, doing a wee little jog. And right behind her is the eye watching her. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and she doesn't notice it.
It's absolutely hilarious. So she doesn't notice it, and then it zaps the treadmill and her, and she decides... Oh, no, sorry. She's getting undressed after that to get in the shower, and the eye zaps her, and they have a little bit of fondly stuff
she's
in
on
the shower.
Was it?
This happens.
So in the shower.
This literally happens seconds after the shower. Okay, so he
doesn't touch her in the shower, does it?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's all over. The optical nerve is all over her in the shower.
Yeah, so she's sort of holding it on her chest, isn't she? And it's just flapping about on her chest again.
Yeah, so it looks like there's a little bit of it, like the practical effect of the optical nerve. Because it is a practical prop.
Yeah.
There's something in it that can make the end of the nerve move, but the body of it looks like more like the ladies have to move it across them rather than anything else. So we have another really long scene of her rubbing this over her body in the shower.
Yeah, it's odd.
Really long.
Yeah.
It's only an hour and a bit minutes long, this film.
Yeah, so the thing is, you can allude to things in films, you can get the gist. We don't need 5 minutes of you... Well, it wasn't 5 minutes, I'm exaggerating, but...
It's not far off.
We don't need a long scene of... We get it. You're in the shower, it's all over you in the shower. We don't need to stand there and watch you for ages doing it. But yeah, it was a bit like that, wasn't it? It was, a bit of a pervy director, do we think?
Yeah, I think it was. I really do think it was. Yeah. And I don't know what happens... But something happens and the eye gets spooked and disappears, and she kind of comes to. She kind of comes to, and goes into the bedroom with a robe over her, and she's sitting down. Oh, sorry, no. After the shower, we then go back to the loft where Grady and Morton have taken the body in a cart in the big sort of, wooden crate.
Yeah.
And they bump into a guy in the loft called Crazy Bill, who is the most overacted character I've ever seen in the world.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone overact quite so much. Crazy Bill is a conspiracy theorist. He's, I don't know, crazy. Yeah, I suppose that works out. That checks out.
Yeah.
And they tell Bill, "Oh, we're just going to leave this crate here. Don't look in it."
Yeah, which is the first thing you're going to do if someone says don't look in here.
Especially if you're not all there in the mind,
But also, one way to arouse suspicion, don't look in this box.
Yeah.
I want to look in the box. There's nothing I want to do more than to look in that box and see what's in there.
That's it. So job done. Morton can leave to go back to his apartment now. So at that point, Okay, bearing in mind they've already Morton and Grady have already talked about how something must have come through from the other side because of different readouts that he had when the homeless guy died.
Yeah.
So Grady's like, look at the size of the device it would have come through. It could be no larger than a marble. How dangerous could that be? Okay.
Yeah.
So Morton's free now to go to see his wife. However, literally moments after being nerve handled in the shower, Morton's wife Jane sits down on the bed.
Oh, doesn't it go on her back?
Yeah, the eye comes up behind her and starts stroking her.
Does she think it's her husband?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, right? But you can feel the difference between a hand
and optical nerve.
a phallic-shaped optical nerve kind of stroke.
Unless you've only just got one big thumb or something.
Yeah.
on your hand.
Hold on to my strong hand.
Then you could tell the difference.
Absolutely. It's quite clear.
I've never been touched up by an optical nerve, so I don't know, but I think I could tell the difference.
I mean, I like to think I could tell the difference.
Yeah.
I've never been touched up by a nerve before. A lot of people have touched my nerves, got on them.
Oh yeah, I've had plenty of that.
But yeah, no, I've never been touched up by them. So, but she's like, just where to touch me, and then
it's not even touching her in anywhere erotic, is it? It's just kind of on
it's just around her neck and shoulder, and as much as they can probably manipulate it to kind of touch.
Yeah.
But then we get like a really long, drawn out scene of it doing this.
Yeah.
And then Morton walks in and he's like, oh my God.
Yeah, what the
and
hell
then
is
the
going on
wife
here?
sees him and she's like, what the hell is behind me?
Yeah.
But the eye, I can't remember, I think the eye zaps Morton.
Does it zap her?
Yes, it does. It zaps Morton and the wife. And now the next thing we have is him laying his wife out on the bed.
Yeah.
That's where he takes his top up and starts rubbing his stomach.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I know, it's a really weird thing. And like the eye's like, I don't know, loving its life. Yeah, great, I'm watching two people rub themselves, honestly. But in his gyrations, Morton knocks over a lamp, which shines right into the eye, and it scares the eye away and the eye runs.
Yeah.
So that brings Morton out of his, like, oh, he's okay now, and Jane's okay, and they're like, what's happened? What's going on? The last thing she remembers is going in the shower.
Yeah.
So even though she was just like compos mentis 5 minutes ago. Oh, honestly,
I know.
it's just, this is so much of the film. Well, we're about half an hour in by this point.
But we're also not understanding what this eye is trying to achieve, because it's just touching people up.
Yeah, that's
What is it like? What's the aim of this eye? Like, what's it trying to?
Exactly. What is the aim of it? But it's not too long before we find out. Now, what then happened? Okay, so Morton goes to see Grady and he's like, I've seen the eye, it's enormous, blah, blah, blah. And Bill turns up and he's like, I've looked in the box. There's a dead body.
Yeah.
And Grady thinks he's going to be blackmailed by Bill. And then he's like, actually, no, Bill, you can't blackmail me because you're in on it now because you're an accessory to the fact, blah, blah, blah.
As soon as you see a dead body and don't call the police, you're part of it, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rita turns up. Okay. Well, no, Grady sends Morton off with this like device that can read energy from the 8th dimension, of course.
Oh, yeah, how do you invent that?
Yeah, exactly. So Morton is going around searching for it, and of course that leads him directly to the flat of our two bimbos, or two male bimbos. That's the way to, two male bimbos?
Yeah, I guess so.
Himbos?
Himbos.
That is the phrase, isn't it? Leads into the flat there, and who's there? Rita's still there.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's getting readings off of Rita's chest. Surprise, surprise. And he's also getting readings from one of the himbos, the guy that got zapped as well.
Yeah.
Rita then is like, oh, what's going on? And he's like, oh, something may come through from the 8th dimension, blah, blah, blah. She goes up to see Grady and says to Grady, now, you think she's going to focus on what's going on, right? She doesn't.
Yeah.
She goes upstairs and she's still sex-starved.
Yeah.
So she says to Grady, where's that young homeless guy? And Bill, being crazy Bill, says, "Oh, he's upstairs and he's up in the loft." So she goes, "Okay, bye." And Grady's like, "Why did you tell her that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I didn't know not to tell her." So she goes up to the loft. This is just mad. She goes up to the loft, and the eye has already made its way back into the head of
Yeah, it
the
does that,
homeless
doesn't it?
guy.
Why does it do that?
It does that apparently because it needs brain
It needs brain matter
to live or to maintain its energy. How they know that, I don't know.
Yeah, it gets its energy from brain matter.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So she goes up there, the eye inside the homeless guy now, shrunken down inside his head. He gets out and she's like, "Oh, you're kind of cute." Bearing in mind, she looks like she's in her 30s, I would say, and he looks like he's 14.
And also, he's homeless, so
Yeah.
it's like he probably hasn't washed for a while.
And she also
you're
says
just
to him,
thinking,
there's a bit in it, she says to him, "Come to mummy." And I was like,
yeah.
"What? No, really?" But there's not enough brain matter in a dead body to keep the eye happy.
Yeah.
So Grady turns up, Morton turns up, Crazy Bill turns up, and Rita's there with the young guy, and he's already collapsed and the eyes escaped.
Yeah.
And they flash torches in its eye and it runs away, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
don't let it get away, blah, blah, blah." So now the cat's out the bag. The eye is out the head, as it
Yeah.
were, okay? And they all know, now everybody knows about it. Grady then is like, "Okay," Rita's like, "We need to go to the police or whatever." And Grady's like, "No, you can't go to the police because you're the one that's funded all these sick, twisted experiments.
Yeah.
You're in just as much trouble as us." So manipulative.
Yeah.
What a dick. Then they decide that they're going to have to trap it because brain matter makes it survive.
Yeah.
Okay. So they need to trap it. Morton, in the meantime, apologies, Morton has asked the two fellas to look after his wife and make sure she's safe.
Oh, they won't. I was going to say they'll look after her, but they don't, do they? They just go to sleep.
Yeah, they just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they do. They just go to sleep. And they're going to devise a plan to dry out the eye. So they're going to trap the eye
Yeah.
using Rita as bait
Yeah.
because he's into her. The eye's into her.
Yeah.
And they decide that it must be because the eye wants to populate the earth. Okay? Exactly. Exactly.
That's not how biology works.
No, it's really not. But then who knows what happens with the eighth
In the eighth
dimension,
dimension, yeah, how they
in human
how they,
eyes.
yeah.
Exactly. So we have this go on. In the meantime, they're making this plan, and the eye turns up in the apartment of the two himbos. The guy that it zapped, it doesn't do anything with, but the other guy sees it, and it zaps him and goes into his eye.
Yeah.
He goes to Jane's place
Yeah.
and is right up in her face, and she kind of wakes up and she's like, oh, I think his name's Tim or something, or Joe. His name's Joe.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, Joe, what are you doing here?" And he's like, he's clearly not right, and there's something wrong with him. But she's like, and I mean, she's half naked, and he's naked pretty much just in his underwear, and he's staring right at her. And then he goes and get her a drink. She says, "Oh, I'm a bit parched, you can get me a drink of water." He goes and gets her a drink of water.
Yeah.
Comes back and starts massaging her, and she's like, "Oh, Morton would kill me. No, Morton would kill you if he knew," and things like that. And then Morton and everyone else burst in, and the eye escapes out the head, and the eye escapes out the head, and whilst he's kind of trying it on with Jane, the eye escapes out the head and is watching again.
Yeah.
And it's very weird. They all turn up, the eye zaps at them, disappears again, and that's the end of that scene. Okay?
Yeah.
And nothing's really happening, but everything's happening in this film. It's so dreadful. Ultimately, our next scene, so Joe's dead. Okay, he's got no eye and no brain matter. He's dead. His naked best friend is incensed by this. They all go up to the loft, set the trap with Rita.
Yeah.
The eye turns up.
What is the trap? I can't remember what the trap is.
Oh, I can't remember. I honestly can't remember what the trap was. They set the trap, and the eye turns up.
Yeah.
Okay, but the eye zaps our naked guy that's left,
Yeah.
and he's obliterated. Okay.
Yeah.
Then he zaps Crazy Bill. Crazy Bill is obliterated, and then Morton and Rita manage to turn the light on.
So it's got different types of zapping then, because when it zaps people earlier on, it just either knocks them out or controls their brains, but then it can also just zap them and kill them.
Yeah, it's like Star Trek, set phasers to stun or kill, I imagine.
Okay.
You know, that's got to be it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who knows? I know. So they managed to turn this really powerful light on the eye, which is going to dry it out, and they're like, look, you've got two options. We either kill you or you go back to your own planet and never come back. Okay? Because Grady has said how he knows this, I don't know, that this eye is Grady kind of is in cahoots with it. There's a scene where he meets up with the eye and he's like, I'll help you, because he
How
wants...
do you communicate with an eyeball, though?
Well, he just talks to it and it seems to, I don't know.
Yeah. But how does it, like, if you say to it, do you want to, we can either kill you or you go back to your own dimension, how does it go yes or no?
Because it's not like it can even wink at you
No,
and go, yeah, okay.
It hasn't got any eyelids.
You know, what's it going to do? I know. They just...
I suppose it can kind of nod, the head can kind of, the eyeball can kind of, it's on
nod,
optical nerve, isn't
or
it
could shake and go no. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how could it? Maybe it's got multiple tentacles. It can go maybe.
It can do sign language.
Yeah, maybe. It can. Oh God, I never thought of that.
Yeah, you can't even be like blink once for yes. It can't blink, can it? But anyway, somehow they managed to communicate.
Zap twice for yes.
So this eyeball can hear and understand English.
Yes. Grady's have found out that it is the forward party for an invasion of Earth from the 8th dimension. They have the light shining on it, and it's like, leave or die. And Grady's like, take me with you. And he runs over and jumps towards the machine. So the trap is also the machine that brought the eye thing out. It's something like that. That the homeless guy looked into is that machine. So Grady runs towards that and he's kind of transported through that machine. And then the eye goes through the transportation. But while it's transporting, we see into the 8th dimension. Yeah, but I want to talk
about that because that is quite enough. Funny.
I didn't want to ruin it at this point because it is hilarious. But what I want to know is, why are they all eyes? I don't want to say much more.
No.
But that's the end, or so you think.
Yeah.
But the eye's gone, Grady's gone, Bill's dead, I think his name's Tom, the second half-naked dude.
I can't remember their names.
Joe's dead, Crazy Bill's dead, the homeless guy's dead.
Yeah.
But there's new life, isn't there?
Is there new life?
There's new life, yeah, because all of a sudden you hear heartbeats, really loud heartbeats for some reason in the soundtrack, and both Jane and Rita, thank you very much, start to hold their stomachs like...
They could just be wanting sex. They all rub their stomachs when they want sex.
That's true.
They might just be turned on.
No. Men rub their stomachs when they're turned on.
What do women do then?
Ladies...
Play about with a tentacle on their chest.
Yeah, play about with tentacles, in this universe. But they're holding their stomachs like that kind of pregnant pose, like, oh.
Like people do on pregnancy shoots.
Yeah. And that's the end of the film.
So, but is there a Killer Eye 2?
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is?
And I had a look at some of it. Killer Eye 2 is basically, looks like several women in a house full of horror sort of stuff, watching Killer Eye.
Oh, we did watch the trailer for it, didn't we, when we watched it? Yeah, and so long ago, I remember. And
they watch the Killer Eye, but they only watch the erotic scenes. And then they have several of their own erotic scenes, but there's actually a Killer Eye in the house. Yeah, don't ask the storyline.
You know what season we should do? We should do Offspring season.
Well, we were going to do sequel season.
If there's sequels where they've like Carousel and stuff like that.
Yeah, Carousel's got 2 films.
Impregnated someone. Or do we just do
Llamageddon
straight ups?
impregnates, but the eggs are in Llamageddon. There's no sequel
there's
to
no
Llamageddon.
Sequel. That's just a thought, but we can probably just do sequels.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking there's been a few, haven't there? Was there one a Shark? House Shark? I couldn't go for another House Shark.
Yeah, House Shark there was, but I don't think there's a House Shark
No,
2.
it's not,
And if there is, I'm going to delete all evidence of it from the
If
internet.
there is, then we're stopping the podcast.
Yeah,
Because we can't do that.
Yeah. It's oh
was
God,
awful,
don't
that
say that,
movie.
because if anyone wants to stop us in our tracks, they'll just have to fund House Shark 2.
They'll just make it, they'll just create House Shark 2.
Oh no, please don't do
It'd
that.
be quite a length to go to stop our podcast. They'd have to really hate us.
Really hate
to
us.
invest a load of money and spend time making a movie.
Right, so shall we start talking about this film?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the categories we had. So
we're talking about the good stuff though, and it is very thin on the ground.
very, very thin on the ground. Now, I need to remind us what categories we had. Our dear listeners it's only been like half an hour since they heard what categories we were covering.
Yeah.
So we've got good scene, good music, good accent, good stunts, and good actress.
Yeah, but I have put a wild card in there because I didn't have a lot
Yes.
of the other bits.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had to because, because there's not a lot of good stuff at all, is there?
No.
No. So what do you? So instantly I can say music. We can discount.
We can discount that because I don't really think. Oh no, sorry. I have got a bad music, but not a good.
Yes.
I wondered what that note meant. It makes sense now. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it?
I've got a bad music, but not a good music.
Yes. Yeah. Same here. Probably the same music in the same scene, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Accent. I think we can also discount.
Accent.
As well.
I put down when the guy gets controlled by the eye. And he does that weird voice. I just thought that was really funny. He should just it was just. It's like if you said to a kid, right, you've got to act like you're being controlled by a robot or something. It's the sort of voice they do. It's just funny. So I quite like that. But it wasn't really an accent, I guess. But I just thought, well, I've got to have something for these categories.
It's a change of voice for a part.
Change of voice,
yeah, it's a change of voice. I think that counts. Yes, you're absolutely right. It very much is someone who doesn't quite understand what the director means by put on an alien voice or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I remember once I auditioned for a play, and it was honestly, it was just this mad person who'd written a play, and well, it wasn't really an audition.
David?
It wasn't me, no. They'd written this play. It was a shockingly awful play. I mean, it was really bad, and they were doing this kind of read-through / audition thing, and this part was a part of an alien. Okay.
Yeah.
Instantly, as soon as you've got an alien in a play, you got to think,
You just want to talk in that. Yeah.
what? And they were saying,
But also, there's only one voice you can do for alien, isn't there? You can't.
Yeah, exactly. But they said, don't do the typical alien voice.
Yeah.
It needs to be really
What else
high.
do you do?
It needs to be really high and shrill, they said. And I was like, are you sure you want me to read that? Really high and shrill? Okay. And I read it really high and shrill. And the person that had written this play and was telling me to do it high and shrill looked at me and was like, not like that.
That's what you just told me to do.
You just told me to read it high and shrill. And I felt really small. I was like,
sounds like that would be impossible to work with them though.
oh, yeah.
And also, how do you keep up a high, shrill voice the whole of the play?
Oh, yeah,
it'd be
I know.
awful. And the audience would just be like, oh, make them stop.
Yeah. It thankfully never went ahead. But yeah, changing, you're absolutely right. But it was consistent.
Yes.
Because also the homeless guy spoke like that when he was possessed by the eye.
Yeah.
Well, his own eye was in his head.
It was his only eye. Yeah, it was his own eye, but it was...
Yeah. But it was the eighth dimension
from
thing.
the eighth dimension.
Yeah. But the accent was consistent. So
Yes.
it makes me wonder who did it first. So who had to then go, oh, I was thinking something different, but I'm going to have to do it like you did it now.
Yeah. Yeah, because we know that movies aren't shot in sequence, are they? Like, a lot of the time you'll shoot scenes out of order. So we don't know who did it first. Yeah, that's true.
And I'd like to think the person who did it second probably had a much better idea but couldn't do it because they were restricted.
Or they didn't have an idea and thought, brilliant, I'll just copy him.
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Unless the actors get in touch.
I don't really want them to. It's actually.
Well, they won't now, David.
I actually don't want them to get in touch.
No. Okay.
Not even Rita in her sex-starved.
Especially not Rita.
Especially not Rita. No, I don't think I could keep
hopefully
up.
that's just her character. She's not just going to be like. Yeah.
I imagine. Wait, what? People, they're not the actual people. Oh my God,
Not
my
always.
life's a lie.
They are in documentaries. Or even then, sometimes I've got actors, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. A dramatized documentary. Oh my God, the whole world's a lie. Right. Stunts. Good stunts.
Oh, stunts. Oh, I haven't got any good stunts.
No, there were no stunts.
No, I didn't have any stunts.
You know, maybe.
Was there any stunts?
No, there wasn't.
No.
Maybe Jane on the treadmill. That was as dangerous as anything got.
Is that a stunt?
No, but that's as, she could have rolled her ankle. Which can absolutely lead to fractured ankles, so, yeah, no stunts. Now, what about good actress?
I haven't got anything for actress either.
No, neither Jane nor Rita were good.
Yeah, I haven't got good or bad, because I was like,
No, and there's, I mean, if we were to say,
I don't think the acting from them was bad. I think the script was bad.
yes,
you can only work with what you've got.
Very true.
So,
and if anything,
the acting was particularly bad.
Yeah, and if anything, then if your script has you as a sex-starved nymphomaniac,
well, then she's done a good job.
Then she's done a good job.
So I guess Rita is probably the best actress.
And I find it very interesting as well, because I was looking at the trivia for this, right? Rita was played by somebody called Jacqueline Lovell. And in the trivia it says, Jacqueline Lovell said the original script had her naked and having sex in several scenes, which makes me wonder, is that why the film was only about an hour and a bit long?
Because they chopped out
because they either chopped the nudity or they weren't filmed at all when they just didn't bother changing the script. They just, that was the script for the film, and what would have padded it out were the sex scenes.
Yeah.
But she said, she didn't want to do that, so they took most of it out. She said sex scenes were fun for a few years when she started out, but after a while got tired of being naked and rolling around with guys she didn't know all the time. She told an interview, I wanted people to watch my films to see me act, not my ass. Fair enough. Quite right.
Yeah.
Quite right, Jacqueline. And then you've got, and funnily enough, the only other trivia in IMDb about this film is Nanette Bianchi, who played Jane, was her first and only career nude scene. So
yeah, put her off life.
Yeah, or maybe she was just like, I'm only getting nude with eyes. That's it.
Yeah, don't get nude with people, just eyes.
Yeah.
Just props.
I'm not working with men actors, I'm only working with eye actors.
Yeah. The eye wasn't a paid actor.
No, I mean, that goes against all SAG-AFTRA rules, I'm afraid to say. Right. So, yeah, if anything, I think fine, by default, Rita gets it.
Okay.
As good actress, because she did what she did with the script. But
you can only work within the storyline of the film, can't you? So if it's a...
And listen, anyone that can make rolling around in a bed between two himbos and making it anywhere near passable that a tentacle optical nerve is giving you pleasure by rubbing on your face and chest. Yeah. Fair play to you. Yeah. I don't think I could do that.
I couldn't do it.
I don't think I could. And I've done some interesting things on stage, and I definitely don't think I could do that. So that's going to come and bring us down to scene now, because that's everything else.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Short episode, everyone.
So it's good scene.
It's a good scene. Okay, so I liked the scene where they tried to send the eyeball back through the machine.
Yes.
And to the 8th dimension. Uh-huh. And the Doc says, I'm coming with you, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and he comes with it. And then we see into the 8th dimension.
Oh, my God.
And the 8th dimension is a pyramid
Yep.
with just loads of eyes in front of it.
Yeah.
Which we're assuming are the citizens, are they, of the 8th dimension? I don't know.
But why? Why are the eyes?
It doesn't
Because
make any sense.
that's only an eye because he looked into the 8th dimension and it went
got
into his eye and
yeah.
it grew. So why do the rest of them look like the exact same eye?
Maybe that's how everyone gets into the 8th dimension.
Maybe
get in there.
Maybe that's why we haven't been invaded by the 8th dimension yet, because they haven't got in through anyone's eye yet. I just don't understand it.
Well, if there were a bunch of eyeballs, yeah. Well, how powerful can that
it was a really poor
civilization be?
It was a really poor kind of artistic drawing as well, wasn't it?
It was like, we're going back to like clip art word kind of special effects. Like we've seen so many times in these movies. Like Birdemic was brilliant for it.
Yeah.
It's just like you're real, like you've got the most basic probably free software. That someone's gone, I can do special effects, and they played about with it and they've gone, look, I can do lightning and zaps.
Oh, look,
and then I can do, I've got this free pyramid image.
Yeah, I've got the eye. I'll just copy paste
it.
Paste.
Duplicate the eye.
Yeah.
And I found this random pyramid picture. That'll do. Looks like a different dimension.
On a pink background. It was so weird. It was so weird.
I mean, if you'd have said to me, what do you think the 8th dimension looks like? I reckon whatever I would have described would have been anything but that.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have... A pyramid would never have come into it.
No.
And I wouldn't have assumed that they're all just a bunch of eyeballs hanging out in this dimension either.
No, absolutely.
I mean, how do they reproduce?
I don't understand it, right?
Because this eye had to get the women pregnant to reproduce, yeah? So they're going to be born just as eyeballs, I take it.
Yeah.
Baby eyeball. So how, if it's just a whole load of eyeballs on this dimension, how are they reproducing?
Maybe
or is this just eyeballs that have got from our dimension into theirs?
Oh, and that means Grady isn't the only one who's been doing the experiment.
Yeah. Or, must be. There's some other way, some other portal to the dimension somehow. I don't know, but it was hilarious. We did both really laugh when we saw it because it was just like...
It was something else.
Of all the things you could imagine, it wouldn't be that. Why was the pyramid there?
Yeah, and I mean, it's anything with a point on it clearly is not great for a world full of eyes.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's just,
So, is that your only good scene?
That's my only good scene, yeah. Have you got any?
Well, as I was watching it again, I thought, let's really have a look at some of these. And there was some where I kind of enjoyed it, not because it was a good scene, technically, but just because it actually kind of made me chuckle a little bit more. So, I explained it earlier, Jane and Morton are discussing how he's overworked. Yeah. And Jane is like, you should remember who you married. And Morton literally says to Jane at the time, hey, I'm not on call 24/7, and literally cue Grady busting in saying, I need you right away, Morton.
Yeah.
That did make me chuckle. Could it have been better? Could it have been done better? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it had the starts of like a nice comedy bit.
Yeah.
I liked that for it. So that was funny. And then it happened again. Jane was involved in this one as well, funnily enough. So when Jane comes out of the shower and she's sitting on the bed, the eye comes in and he zaps the stereo. And on the stereo starts to play what you would think is like make-out music, you know? It's not. It's actually just a classical musical piece. So it's not. No. It's not.
It's not sexy at all.
It's not a sexy.
No.
I mean, bless it. The eye isn't. You know, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. But it did make me chuckle that he zaps the stereo to put on sexy music, and even then, even Jane goes, "Oh, you know just how to get me in the mood." It's like, what the hell? It's like Ride of the Valkyries playing or something. It was, that was funny. And then another thing that did make me chuckle again was when the eye takes over the dead street kid, right? And Rita goes up to see him because she's horny. These are my notes. He steps out of the box and she starts talking to him, and all he says is, I.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, you what? But no.
You probably thought he was Scottish.
It did make me chuckle. Just literally like foreshadowing Rita. He's telling you he's an eye.
Yeah.
But so, were they great scenes? No, but they were enough to kind of make me go, funny.
Yeah.
Stupid funny, but funny. And made me kind of happy, but not overly happy.
Not snakes on a plane happy.
Not snakes on a plane happy.
Not
Absolutely
6 out of 5.
Not 6 out of 5 happy. Not teeth happy.
No.
Not teeth
you loved
happy.
teeth, didn't you?
I love teeth. Had a good bite to it. Right. So, any wild cards you want to mention?
I've put down a couple of lines.
Okay. Yeah.
But I didn't write down who said them. But one of them was, "Don't look into its eye." It is just an eye.
Look into its eye.
I can't remember who said that though.
Oh no, I watched it as well today, and I can't remember who said that.
No, and then there was another one, and again I can't remember who said it, but they said to the eyeball, "You killed my best buddy, you stupid bitch." Was it one of the himbos?
Yeah, that was the second one, Martin or something.
Just the way they called it a stupid bitch, it just made me laugh. I love a good insult. I love it when someone just calls somebody like a really, like we've had other ones, haven't we, in other movies where you're just like, did you really just say that?
So the fella that said that, his name was Tom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was Joe that had died. And actually, in that same scene, a line was said that I thought was really funny. Grady or Morton says about Joe, his brain matter has been sucked dry, and the guy that just said, "You killed my best buddy, bitch," says, "Is he going to be okay?"
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'll get a mop. I've got quite a few more. Have you got any?
No, we did have special effects as a category, but I've got a bad one, but not good. Yeah, I've got it written down,
Accent.
but I haven't got a good one.
We had actress, stunts, accent, music, and scene. Did you write down special effects as a wild card?
Oh, it might have been a wild card then.
Yeah, go for it though.
No, I haven't got a good one. I've only got a bad one.
A bad one.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Okay, so a couple of more lines that I thought were really good. When Grady and Rita are talking at the beginning of the film, Grady says to him, "Well, what?" Rita's on it about him paying more attention to her, and he's like, "Well, what more do you want?" And she says, "Sex," and he's like, "Well, you had that last Thursday." That made me chuckle. Then we've got Morton and Grady talking about, and this is the discovery that something's come through the portal, and Morton says, "So you're telling me that kid punched a hole through our reality with his eye?" And Grady goes, and it's the way he says it that really made me chuckle. Because it's like, okay, one, he's been told to be really excited about it, but also you've got no idea about the science of this. And he goes, literally, he goes, "Yeah." So he goes, "Yeah." And the chemicals and radiation, you can't forget that part. It's like, what? And I've got, oh yeah, I don't have another line, and this is me just writing down Joe and Tom are basically better than Ernie as druggies, possible male sex workers, because I wanted to make sure we mentioned that, because they're very much like Bert and Ernie.
It's an odd setup, sorry, but
it's a very odd setup.
If you're living with a friend,
yeah,
you're not sharing a bed.
This is my totally platonic male friend who shares a bed
and
with
also,
me.
if you're two single guys, what about if you're dating someone? Oh, come back to my place, get in bed with me and my friend.
Yeah, sorry, it's a threesome, but we're going to be asleep within 2 minutes anyway.
Yeah, we'll only kiss your back.
Yeah.
Kiss your chest and your back and then fall asleep.
That's it, yeah.
There might be a big killer eyeball.
Do you know what? They could probably save themselves quite a lot of energy if one of them kissed the back and one of them kissed the front.
Yeah, get it done quicker and then off to sleep.
Much faster to bed. Much faster to sleep.
Or don't bother at all. Just go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact,
if you're only going to kiss someone's chest and back.
Why even get women involved? Why don't Tom and Joe just,
Well, I've got my suspicions about them because I still think it's odd they share a bed if they're just friends.
There's nothing wrong with it. Be open,
there's nothing
Tom
wrong
and
with
Joe.
it at all, but...
Tom, Joe, be open. You don't need to pretend you're just good friends.
No. No one's
No more. It. No more. Now you should feel free. Mind you, it was 1999.
It probably was a bit different back then, yeah.
23 years ago, it was still a bit awkward, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got a friend who said that when she came out, she learnt who her friends were.
Yeah, I
there
can
was a couple
imagine.
of people that were freaked out by it. I'm just
Yeah.
because people have this really weird idea that if you're gay, you automatically just fancy everybody.
Yes.
Like when people are heterosexual, I don't walk around going, I fancy everyone. I fancy every man I ever lay eyes on. So why do people think, oh, you're gay and I'm the same sex as you and we're friends?
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. I'm in danger here. And also, they know you're straight. If you're friends with them, they know you're straight, so they're not going to try it on with you anyway and they might not fancy you.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't be so full of yourself.
You're not in danger. It's like, if you know somebody as a friend, you're not in danger anyway because you respect that you're friends.
It is hilarious though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
people just get freaked out by it and
see
just
that
assume.
so much.
Oh, I can't undress in front of you, and I can't.
Yeah.
They're not perving on you because they're gay. It's like they might not be interested in you at all. And even if they were, and they know you as a friend, and they know that you're straight, they're not going to do anything about it.
Nah. You're probably much safer than
it's
with
bizarre
some
to me.
random person.
And it's so conceited as well to be like, well, you must fancy me then. Sorry. So I know that probably would have been about 20 something years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she definitely said that there was a couple of people that she thought were good friends that just kind of was like, oh, not sure about that. Which is just odd to me because doesn't affect your life at all. Like, whoever your friends have relationships with, it doesn't affect your life.
No, of course
not.
So
as long as they're happy, why does it matter?
Exactly.
So I never understood that.
But I mean, I imagine it's still not that easy nowadays, even though it's a much more accepted and accepted. It should be a very accepting world. It shouldn't be an issue at all.
Yeah, but we know historically. We're talking our parents or our grandparents' generation. You wouldn't.
And even now, I mean, us being in a very easy country to be gay in,
there's still always going to be prejudice. There's always going to be ignorant people, isn't there?
But 20 odd years ago,
it would have been worse.
It's got to be. It would have been a lot worse than now, but still can be very easy as well. Anyway, now, but yeah. Poor old Tom and Joe. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, now they're dead. Tom and Joe are both dead. But
maybe
now
they're together in heaven.
Maybe they're together in heaven.
Maybe they're a couple in heaven.
Yeah. And did you hear that, conservative Christians? They're probably a couple in heaven because, well, it's probably very accepted up there because it's nice that people are in love. Yeah. Especially Tom and Joe, although they just don't know it yet. No. Right, Emma, are we going to score this film?
Yes, I think we should.
I think we should.
Do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah, I think I am.
Okay.
Because I've seen this film twice now.
You poor thing.
I know. And even boobs can't save it.
No.
Even boobs can't save it. I'm sorry. And also, might add, wee flash of bush that can't save it.
Oh, yeah, it was in the shower. Yeah.
In the shower, there's a wee flash of bush.
Yeah.
That cannot save this film.
No.
It doesn't save the film.
No.
It's nonsensical. It has a smattering of funny things, but they're not funny haha. They're funny like, haha, that was a
it's more like a little chuckle rather than a full-on laughing. Yeah.
There's no belly laughing going on. There's a lot of belly rubbing going on.
There is, weirdly.
I don't care that we don't get an explanation of the science. That's fine.
Yeah.
Either if you're a movie that explains the science, either get it right or just
skip over it.
Just skip over it, and I'm happy to assume. Great, it's future science, whatever. Yeah. Okay, but it's dreadful. I'm just gonna. It's 1 star. 1 star out of 5.
I was going to go 1 star as well. Yeah.
I
would never watch it again.
1 eye out of 2.
1 eye and 1 star.
No. Yeah. I wouldn't watch it again.
No. Oh, you poor thing.
But I thought it's been 20 days since we watched it.
I'm quite surprised that I remembered it quite well.
I was amazed.
I've got notes, but I've remembered it better than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I said that like I was amazed you had any form of memory.
You know that my memory's terrible. That's why.
So 1 star. What about you? You're 1 star as well.
1 star, yeah.
Yeah. It just wasn't great, was it?
No.
And do you know what? There have been some great movies in this season with body parts gone wrong.
Yeah.
Like Teeth obviously. You know how much I love that.
You did love that.
And body parts, I loved the idea of it.
Yes.
Execution
wasn't great.
But it was a great idea. But there were other body parts, other films that it was like, it seems to be so lacking.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, body parts I think could have been done better.
Yeah.
Idle hands.
Oh, there was a good idea there.
Yeah.
You know, the devil makes work for idle hands. Great idea.
But
You got
again,
some
execution.
slackers, but it's the execution of it. Yeah, it seems to be really muddled.
Yeah.
And then the last half of the season is gone into those body parts of, well, I mean, the scrotum, one-eyed monster.
Yeah.
And then Killer Eye, you wouldn't expect some eroticism in it.
No.
No, I don't, and I wouldn't even call it eroticism, but it's like it's
Yeah,
like one of those late night erotic thrillers,
I
but
wouldn't
just with
expect there to be
science
so
fiction.
many sex scenes in a Killer Eye
Yeah.
film. But yeah.
But then when a film can't be carried by the storyline or the
I mean, I guess you've got to have
plot.
that in there a little bit because it's obviously impregnated them at the end. So you've got to allude to, it's getting it on with the women.
But like
you
say,
didn't need to have such long scenes and so many of them. You
Yeah.
could have done that quickly. You didn't need to keep going back to another sex scene and not that we saw anything, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't graphic.
No, it wasn't graphic at all.
It was just gratuitous.
But it was just a lot of it.
Yeah.
It just didn't really fit in with the film. But, you know.
There's a little something for the dads.
Yeah.
A little something for the dads, you know.
There's some boobs in it.
There's some boobs in it. And you know, I mean, if you're into muscly men, Joe and Tom are naked a lot.
Well, they've just got pants on the whole time.
Just pants on.
Yeah.
I mean, there is one scene where Tom...
Oh, sorry, we should say underwear for
for Americans, yes, not trousers. There is literally one scene where Tom is sitting facing the camera with his legs spread, just with tiny little boxers on.
Yeah.
And it's like the director.
Yeah.
You know for a fact the director was behind the camera on that shot. Do you know what I mean? It was a little uncomfortable. Not gonna lie. Yeah. So 1 star.
1 star, yeah.
Yeah. A disappointing end to the season.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but thank you very much for sticking with us through the season.
Yeah.
If you want to hear the bad bits of Killer Eye, you can come and join us over on
The flip side.
which is available via www.patreon.com/ICBadMovies. And for the low sum of $5 a month, there is, with this episode, there's now going to be 30 episodes of...
Yeah. The flip side.
Thank you. And also 4 episodes of I See Bad Kids Movies, which is an episode where myself, sometimes Emma, and her son Brody talk about bad movies, as bad movies for kids, I should say. So yeah, come over and join us there if you can. It'd be really appreciated to have you here because, yeah, we have to rent these movies. That's the trouble.
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah, we always have to rent them. It's quite painful. But yeah, that'd be lovely to see you on there. Or come and follow us on social media. Links to our link tree are going to be part of the episode details. So absolutely come along and follow us on Instagram as well. We're more active. But Emma, we really need to get onto TikTok.
We absolutely do.
We absolutely do.
Yeah.
Although now, getting onto TikTok and it's being bloody banned in America.
Is it actually being banned in America?
Yeah, it will be. Because Bite Dance,
Too
who
much
own
stuff's
it...
getting out, isn't it?
Yeah, too much stuff. Bite Dance are not... It's like, apparently, in the US, TikTok is like 10% of... the US is Bite Dance is 10% of Bite Dance's income for TikTok. They're not going to sell off something that makes them billions a year just because they're losing 10% of it.
Yeah.
No chance. So yeah, probably. I've not heard much more about it, but probably going to get banned in America. Crazy, isn't it? So
because it's freedom of speech and people are talking about things they don't want them to be talking about and stuff's getting out. And
that's it.
And
too much stuff is getting out.
You can spread information so quickly on there.
Yeah.
Like within seconds you can be around the world and be viral.
Like you can.
So that's why governments don't like it, do they? Because I mean, all of our governments' WhatsApp messages were all over there, weren't they? At one
they
point?
were. I know.
So it just spreads the news so much quicker, and they can't control it. Like they can control, like the usual media outlets. They've got some control, haven't they? Like
if they, I mean, because
government, royal family, they'll have some sort of control of what goes out and what gets said.
I mean, our royal family and our government basically say to journalists, "Look, we'll blackball you."
Yeah.
Literally, if you do this, you're not going to get any more information from us.
Yeah.
And so they hold on to things.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They can give the narrative they want, can't they? Whereas on TikTok, things get out on there, you've got
Get
no
out.
control.
And sometimes it's like, you know, you end up with so many wild ideas about the simplest thing that happens. Like,
but also you
Kate
do
Middleton.
get leaks, you do get true stuff coming out. That, the government are up to this and they're up to that, and making people more aware and more, up with these things. That when they start going,
like for example, did you know, right, in America they're doing experiments into the 8th dimension?
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I've seen a clip of this on TikTok. Has it got a pyramid?
Yeah, it has. Yeah. Funnily enough, it has. Yeah. And if you look on the dollar bill, there's a pyramid with an eye on it.
Yeah, it's all happening. We're all going to be living in the 8th dimension before we know it. We're all just going to be giant eyeballs.
It's the Illuminati.
We're all going to be giant
sex-crazed eyeballs. Poor Jacqueline Lovell, she's going to be like, I can't cope with all this.
Well, she'll be an eyeball too, so she'll be fine.
Tentacles all over.
She'll be an eyeball by then herself, so it's fine.
How could you tell a lady eyeball and a male eyeball apart?
Is this a joke?
No, I'm not. This
Is there a punchline?
Yeah, I'm not that quick.
Maybe the length of the tentacle? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the length of the tentacle. Imagine if lady eyeballs have eyelashes. That's the only difference. They've got an eye.
They've got the eyelid, which is like the hair, and then the eyelashes. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the optical nerves are braided. I don't know. Anyway.
They've got optical boobs. We don't know.
Eye boobs. That sounds more technical, doesn't it? Eye boobs. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. We will see you
on the flip side, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.